What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Christian J Show. So today, we're going to be talking about another one of my favorite shows from the Arrowverse, which is The Flash. Now, The Flash, it was good its first 4 seasons. Then it kind of started going downhill during this 5th season. And then after that, it just was kind of like all over the place. Like some parts that you will have, some parts it'll be good. The other parts it'll be like, okay. The other parts it'll be like, hey, what's going on? With The Flash, well, really, to me, how I feel like Flashpoint shouldn't have happened, or it shouldn't have happened so early. I feel like Flashpoint would have been like a good season 5 kind of thing. Like, why have Flashpoint early up in the season, or early up in the series? Kind of like having it at that point, like season 5, like right there in the middle. That's how I feel. But The Flash stars Grant Gustin. You don't know who he is. He was also on Glee. He played Sebastian Smythe. He was one of the Warblers. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. He was in Glee with Melissa Benoist, who played Supergirl. Then it stars Candice Patton. Daya Patbecker. And I forgot the man's name, but he was on Law & Order. He played Joe. The actor that plays Joe was on Law & Order. That's all I can remember, y'all. That's all I can remember. I know they did have the original Flash. John Wesley Shipp. I know they had him on the series. He was the original Flash in the TV series. And he guest starred on The Flash on the CW. So, that's it. That's that. Now, let's go ahead and get into the thing. First one I want to talk about is Iris. I love Iris West Allen. But some people do not like Iris. And she gets way too much hate. It's one thing to not like the character. Okay, we get it. Everybody does not like a character. But it's another thing for you to dislike the actress and to send hate and to send racist comments towards the actress. I remember Grant Gustin had to get on Instagram, and defend her because people were talking about it, were basically just leaving hateful comments, saying this, saying that, oh, she's not this, she's not that, calling her all types of names. It was just a big mess. Now, I do know back in 2022, she did an interview with Entertainment Weekly, and she said she wants to leave The Flash in season 2 because of racist and misogynistic fans. It said when Candice Patton debuted as Iris West on The Flash in 2014, her groundbreaking casting pushed representation in the comic book adaptations forward in massive ways, as her character was originally portrayed as white in the source material, but while the actor made history on screen, her appearance off-screen, her experience off-screen, child, I cannot read today, dealing with the backlash from toxic and racist fans online made her want to leave the series only after 2 seasons. In an interview with the Open Up podcast, Patton detailed the extent of the abuse and harassment she received for playing Iris. She says, and I quote, "It was hard in that aspect, the on-set aspect. I want to leave the show as early as season 2. She says, I remember being like, I can't do this. I'm not going to make it through. I'm severely unhappy. Patton said she felt a responsibility to create spaces for women of color in the superhero genre, but her own well-being suffered as a result. She says, and I quote, "It's a dangerous place to be in when you're one of the first and you're facing backlash for it. And there's no help," she says. Now people understand a little bit better. They understand how fans can be racist, especially in genre adaptations and misogynistic. But at the time, it was like, yeah, that's how fans are, but whatever. And she goes on to say that the CW Warner Bros. TV, the network and the studio behind The Flash, did not properly protect her from the casting backlash. So that was all of that. And ultimately, Patton decided to stay on The Flash, which, wow, at this time they was filming the 8th season, because she felt a responsibility to the fans who she represented and portrayed the historic and inclusive role. While she will be returning for season 9, which was their last season, she is unsure if it will be her last. Yeah. So that whole thing bugged me, because my thing is, why are you sending hateful messages towards the actress? Like, she's playing a character. Like, y'all want everything to be comic accurate, and even then, when you get comic accurate, you still don't like it. Take a look at the new Superman that's coming out. People say, they want a comic accurate suit. Okay, they got a comic accurate suit. Now they don't like the suit. You will never be able to please comic book fans. Because either one, half of them just sit home, read comic books, they don't do anything else. Two, they live at home with mama in the basement, eating Cheetos, sucking the Cheeto dust off their fingers, and getting fat and not doing nothing with their life, but just reading comic books. Three, they just online hating just to hate, because they have nothing else going in life. They have no goals, they have no ambition. Yeah. Now, both Grant Gustin and Candice Patton were planning on leaving at the end of season 9, even if it wasn't the last season. So we would have been without a Flash and Iris. Now, based on what they were saying about Grant and Candice leaving, was because Grant only wanted to leave because he was married and had a kid, and was having a kid, and they were starting to sort of burn him out, because there was a lot on his plate and he wanted to be a family man. Also, he says he wouldn't feel comfortable if there was a season 10 and he wasn't there. I mean, how would that even work? What they gonna do? Like, oh well, Barry died, or this and that and the third, blah 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 blah. Like, okay, we're here. That's why when you see actors start like just going through the motions, they just start going through the lines. Half the time they don't really express. I feel like some of these actors have like checked out of the show. You could kind of see it during season 8. Grant and Candice were kind of like checked out, like semi-checked out during season 8. Because like, there were too many. Half the time they really didn't involve Barry, even though Barry was the Flash. He was the Flash. It was like, okay. Like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing? All right. And they was kind of like phasing Iris out anyway from season 7, when she had her time sickness. I feel like they was kind of like phasing her out. Cause like that, like really. But I'm glad they ended it at season 9 because what would a season 10 even look like without Grant Gustin and Candice Patton? Exactly. But what would a season 10 even would look like without the Flash and Iris? They are the Flash and Iris. Like, come on, what would they even look like? Now, these are just my opinions on the show I'm about to talk about. Y'all can agree, y'all can disagree, okay, whatever. But to be honest, they relied too much on the Reverse Flash. Like, okay, we get it, Reverse Flash, he is a staple point of the Flash. Killed his mom, did all this to him, blah 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 blah. Okay, we get it. He's a staple. He's a significant part of the Flash's life, but they kept bringing him back. Mind you, there were tons of villains in DC, but they kept bringing back the Reverse Flash. Like, bring back Black Flash. Like, every time you turn around, the Reverse Flash was coming back. He was cheating death. I got tired of seeing the Reverse Flash. I was like, okay, like, what we doing? Like, you always bring back the Flash. What else? What else is going on? Now, the Godspeed storyline, it could have been better if it had more episodes and a better storyline. Season 5, they should have had like a graphic novel structure, while season 7 should have stretched out the whole Godspeed storyline after the Eva arc was done. That's my thing. That's what it should have been. Now, I will say this: Elseworlds was kind of like the best crossover. It was kind of like the best crossover to me. But my favorite crossover was Elseworlds, the world's Finest with Flash and Supergirl, then Crisis on Earth X, and then Crisis on Infinite Earths. It was okay, but I got kind of confused on like what was supposed to happen. Like, who actually is the bad guy? Like, what's the name working with him or what? I got kind of confused on Infinite Earths. But I don't like how they teased everybody at the end of Infinite Earths. Y'all remember there was sitting basically in the Hall of Justice, and we heard the little monkey come out. Then the Super Friends logo music. I kind of felt like that was gonna be like the next crossover, but then ultimately everybody was like ending, like this, all the shows was ending. I kind of felt like they teased everybody, then made that decision like, oh well, we're gonna be ending soon. Honestly, if I was, because I know all the shows are still on Netflix. If I was Netflix, I would buy all the rights to it, and I pick some of these shows back up. I would, to be honest, I would actually pick some of these shows back up, like Supergirl. Black Lightning definitely needs to be picked back up because Black Lightning was was a great show. I feel like everybody was like kind of like slept on Black Lightning for a while. And one thing I do not agree with Flash fans is that Caitlyn is better than Iris if for love interest for Barry. Like if Barry wanted to be with Caitlyn, he would be with Caitlyn, but he is not. He is with Iris, so deal with it. And you're only saying that because Iris is a black woman. And I don't care if y'all will be like, oh, always bring a race and everything. I am. And what about it? Y'all hating on Iris because she is black. Even in the comics. I think now they have put a black Iris. I don't remember. I don't know if they have they done it now, but I know if they have done it, y'all probably would hate on it. But that's how y'all is. And I will say season 4 was one of the best seasons. Argue with your mama. Because season 4 was the best season. Now, Barry in season 4 should not have immediately returned from Speed Force season 4. Like at the beginning, no. Like, let's wait. I would say, like episode 5, that should have been his return. He'd have returned from Speed Force. Like, there should have been like a couple of episodes of the team struggling without him. Could have been useful to explain why Iris was leading the team instead of Cisco, or show them both co-leading. Then show them mourning Barry, because as far as they know, he was basically dead, good as dead. And then with the fallout of him entering the Speed Force, showing Iris quitting her job, maybe taking a few tech classes so she could help the team out, instead of just telling us, oh, she's a strong leader now. Showing her becoming that leader, show her take a few extra self-defense classes, show Wally feeling the weight of needing to replace Barry, show the team struggle more and more without him each episode, and lead us to the same conclusions Cisco came to. That they needed Barry, have the samurai robot be the catalyst for his return, and, blah, 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 blah. Like, come on. I feel like that should have happened. They really should. Like, he shouldn't have immediately came back the first episode of season 4. I would say, like, season 5, not season 5, episode 5 or episode 6. We saw during Supergirl, season 6, the last season of Supergirl. She did not come back until episode episode 7. She did not come back to episode 7. And that was at the end of the episode. I feel like that should have happened with The Flash. Like, don't let him come back the first episode of season 4. Let him come back like season 8, episode 8 or episode 7 or episode 6. Like, show the team basically clueless, basically, because they didn't know what to do without him. Now, I see a lot of people hate on Iris because she said we are the Flash, but Barry was the first one that said it, though. He always said it. He always said we are the Flash. Sometimes he'll say, well, I'm the Flash, but overall he'll say we are the Flash. And I never see anybody say anything about it. But as soon as Iris said we are the Flash, oh, she's not the Flash. She's not a part of the Flash. Like, excuse us. Calm down. Like, let's calm down now. Now, I will say season 3 was a good season. Iris really shouldn't have, it shouldn't have been fleshed out that she was a journalist, nor Barry as a smart CSI. It shouldn't have been fleshed out. They just kind of like fleshed those storylines out, like, okay, well, all right. And I do believe Barry should have been allowed to kill, like to kill at times. Just at times. Give him a look. Give him a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kill him. Because let's be honest, some of these metahumans, yeah. Some of these metahumans, they should have Now, let me start. I know I said it went downhill after season 4, but honestly, the Flash, the show was kind of like bipolar in the quality of seasons. Like season 1, 2, and like 6 are great. Then 4 and 5 will be fun and good. Then like you'll have like 7 and season 3, like. Then season 8 would be like, okay, well, it's time to kind of like to wrap it up. Time to wrap it up a little bit. Like, come on now. At this point, you're just dragging everybody out. You're dragging the show out at this point. Now, the Speed Force constructs in season 7 were amazing. Like Noah's lightning whip and Bart's ninja, whatever he had, were great as an innovation to the speedster action scenes. The lightsaber fight was executed, and it was okay, but it was fun. It was fun though. It was fun. Now I do like that Barry doesn't kill, but I wish he kind of would have at least killed one of them. Like one of the villains. Reverse Flash. That would have been the main one he needs to kill. Like the man stopped and killed your mama. Like, come on now. Like, to me, that I feel like he should have offered him a little bit. Now, the whole thing with Ralph and the actor that played Ralph, everybody was like, oh, well, he apologized for all he said. I feel like if you aren't the people that he was talking about, I feel like you don't need to get a say-so in anything. If you weren't the people that he was talking about, I feel like you shouldn't have anything to say. Like you should be like, oh, but he apologized. Like, okay, there's plenty people that apologize for things that they have said. Do they actually mean it? Like, come on. I want to know. Do they actually mean what they? I just want to know. Because, I mean, some of his tweets were like, ugh. Some of his tweets were like, look, like the racist and the misogynist tweets, and you still have people like, well, he apologized. Y'all say that about everybody. Y'all really do. And it's sickening. Because are you the people that he needs to apologize to? Or are you just saying that because you don't want your favorite actor to lead the show? Exactly. Now, when people say Barry always wrote, was ride or die for Iris, but Iris was never ride or die for him, y'all lying because if y'all don't watch the show frequently. Because Miss Girl was ride or die for Barry. When Barry was stuck over there, y'all remember, I forgot what it was, but when Barry was stuck over there and Cisco was like, if you go over there you can't get back, that might not be Barry, blah, 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 blah. She was like, I can't take that chance, and she went on. And then when that man that basically was trying to be like Simone Biles and bend all over well, breaking bones, breaking necks, doing all this, little puppet man. And when he threw Barry off the building and Iris ran and jumped off the building, ask me would Patty have done that? Ask me would Caitlyn have done that? Ask me would Patty or Caitlyn would have done that? Now Felicity probably would have did it for Oliver Queen. Cara probably would have did it for Monel. Iris did it for Barry. But would Caitlyn or Patty would have done that for Barry? I don't think so. Thank you. But I feel like this show, it made a staple point to a whole lot of superhero shows. The Arrowverse with Arrow, Legends, Supergirl, Flash, and Black Lightning. I feel like they made a staple point, and Superman and Lois. All of those shows made like a staple point into superhero TV. Like they had its good moments, had its bad moments, had its like what is going on moments, and then had its like amazing moments. And that's all that happens with TV, to be honest, these days, because at this point, stuff is getting canceled left and right. You barely watching this and that. Because with streaming services, they up in their prices. Netflix. What's the watch now? So like, honestly, I feel like if they brought on another superhero show in this day and age, I feel like they would be living up to the standard that the Arrowverse and all these other superhero shows have set. But mainly the Arrowverse, because the Arrowverse ended in this decade. Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah. I think Arrow ended, and Batwoman. Yeah, all the Arrowverse shows ended in this decade. Arrow ended in 2020. The Flash ended in 2023. Supergirl ended in 2021. Legends of Tomorrow ended in 2022. Black Lightning ended in 2021. And Batwoman ended in 2022. So scratching across 699 episodes across 37 seasons of television. That's if you combine Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, and Batwoman. That is pretty impressive. If you combine all of them, and not to say about Superman and Lois, because to be honest, it kind of was a part of the Arrowverse, but to be honest, it really never. It was, and it really wasn't a part of the Arrowverse. It's like border Arrowverse, but it's set in its own world. You never really saw any other shows like from the Arrowverse go over there to Superman and Lois. So, but I feel like if they brought on a new superhero show now in this decade, I feel like that show would have to live up to the hype of the Arrowverse, because the Arrowverse set a standard. When the Arrowverse first came out, and we had Arrow and Flash, those two Arrow to begin with, then had Flash. I want to say Supergirl came next, but then Legends. I want to say that's how it was. We had Constantine. That really wasn't all that. I want to say Supergirl came first, then Legends came first. But it was actually, Supergirl came first, then Legends. So you had all of these shows, they set a standard. That's all I could say. So if another show came on, like, just say they did another show dealing with DC superheroes, I feel like that show would have to live up to the standard that the Arrowverse set. That's all I gotta say. Like, they would have to live up to that standard. But that is all the time I have for y'all today. So tune in next time for another episode of The Christian J Show.